Hey you. Good afternoon, all you console warriors and PC part pickers, die-hard Leonard Skinner fans and Taylor Swift tweens, 1984 Elite veterans and brand new RGB exploding out of every crack new Elite Dangerous commanders. I've been having a little problem and I brought in a very mellow fellow to talk it out with, so grab some Latvian brandy, dim the lights, and kick them shoes off. Make sure to like and subscribe like a boss. One of the big conversation pieces surrounding Elite Dangerous since I've joined up with you in the Pilots Federation is the grind. The requirement that you perform repetitive tasks to unlock weapons, modules, engineers, and financial freedom. If you've taken the time to engineer your ship, then you know the grind well, my friend. Some unlock requirements in Elite are actually pretty cool and bring you out of your shell to experience things you wouldn't normally partake in. When the Guardian Frameshift Drive booster was added to Elite, commanders who had zero interest in visiting Guardian sites were out scanning beacons and trying to find parking spots in the HD whatever system to shoot pillars and offer sacrifices to DigThat in exchange for an additional 10 light-year range and some change. Visit a couple sites, solve a puzzle, and engage in some light combat, and get rewarded with a super useful module. It was a good direction to take us in, and I applaud it. But then you've got unlocks and other facets of the game that take a long commitment to doing something over and over. Most famous example is the prismatic shields, which come at the cost of, at minimal, a month-long grind. For the past few months, I've been asked to make more Elite Dangerous After Dark videos, which I love that you've been asking for them, because I love that you dig them, and they're my favorite videos to make. So I got to writing, got a special guest to agree to collab on it, and started principal photography. Or recording my shot list if we're being real. The theme of the video required a real beast of a ship, so my special guest, who will go unnamed until it drops, theory crafted an unstoppable feat of elite engineering, handed me the specs and sent me on my merry way to build it, which I was excited to do. And then I took a look at the mats required to make it happen. This was way more than I anticipated, but I ain't never been scared of a challenge and wasn't gonna pick that day to start running. So I got to work and research and work some more. And that's what it became, work. I hit up my guest, started pushing dates back, and as much as I love it, I started dreading sitting down and even cranking up Elite Dangerous, which sucks. Super first world problems, but hey, it is what it is. It pushed me off balance and there was Star Citizen with the arms wide open. But that's neither here nor there. But then realization dawned upon my chocolate brow. Grinding isn't a big deal when all your time is dedicated to a single game. You're gonna be playing it anyway, and you can take time off of it to engage in other activities between the grind. On the other hand, it's a little over the top when you get handed a list like this that can take eons to complete. Maybe in 2020, FDev will bring balance to the force with more engaging gameplay over endless repetition to keep commanders engaged. Who knows? But that's just one commander's opinion. So here's another from a Latvian space cowboy that ain't afraid to whip a dead horse on the Old Town Road. You might even have heard of him. He goes by the name Yamiks.
So then, grind, a term that encompasses two types of developers: the idiots that don't know any better, and the time wasters, the cynical pricks who want to artificially increase the playtime of the game. See, grind, that is doing easy tasks over and over again, or just doing simply repetitive tasks, is the opposite of challenging gameplay where you have one task, but it's difficult and skill dependent. Yes, grind can be fun at times and even required, but let's be honest, you barely ever hear about it being done right. It's always overinflated. See, normally in proper game design, you use risk and reward gameplay ideal. You either take up a challenge and do it quickly with risk involved, or you go on a slower, steadier route that will achieve the goal nonetheless. So then, Elite Dangerous. Randomly generated missions ad nauseam, overinflated requirements for engineering, and even more so for Guardian unlocks. Do I even need to mention the word? I'm not sure if developers are just cynical pricks that want players to keep playing the game in order to show off the false and inflated statistics to shareholders, or is it to force us to buy more microtransactions? Maybe it's both. Yet I'm pretty certain that they are no fools and the excuse of not knowing any better will not slide with me. Yes, there could be the old way of game making in Play too, but if that's the excuse of not putting in effort of making gameplay and its features interesting and challenging, then you're just admitting to be senile and unwilling to improve with the times, where the other games in the industry have proven what could be done.
Yeah, see, that's why I brought you here. But you're still roaming the galaxy, so you're still motivated to keep grinding. How's that hit you when you're cranking out videos, though?
Well, the f do you think? Does anyone like to grind an imaginary stripper pole like an aggressive lesbian but without the pleasure and reward involved? So that it's like watching a construction worker stripping at paint with a belt sander. As someone who makes videos for others, I want to showcase the new stuff and gear, yet when you literally have to sit there for hours and repeat the same task over and over again, like a comatose pickle, you start to lose the enthusiasm for the game, and no doubt other players, I can imagine, end up not even bothering to do it. So the content is wasted, dev time is wasted, the only thing that's not wasted is money, and that's only if you're the CEO of the company.
I don't know if I really would have put it that way, but absolutely good points though. But you better check your tone and use your inside voice before I put you out.
Oi mate, come at me bro!
At the end of the day, I don't have all the answers on how to replace the grind and keep folks playing. Some of it is worthy stuff. Elite ranks are a badge of honor, and even though they don't mean you're the best at any category, it does show a level of commitment, and it takes commitment to... Actually, I take back all that stuff about not having the answers to the grind. More content. GTA Online had a lot of folks grinding money for years, but they also backed it up regularly with DLC that offered more to do than the standard game loops. You had yachts, nightclubs, sexy vehicles to show off at a car meetup, apartments, things to spend all that grinded up money on, and things to fall back on with the social aspect after the missions and the shooting is done. Something to take a break from the regular gameplay. Not everybody's a sociable player, including myself sometimes, but social activities outside of the same lanes we've been flying in over and over will break up the monotony a bit. I don't know if that's possible when you're strapped to your cockpit chair, but we need a solution. I know it's not easy being FDEV. They've got a lot on their plates and they crank out content and games with a relatively small staff while still making it a great place to work. But right now we need some out-of-the-box style thinking. The type of thinking that I hope is fueling the big 2020 update. So raise your glass with me to FDev in the hopes that 2020 will unleash the Kraken. Big 7-Up salute to Commander Blackout, to Lucas Town, to Diedrichs, to the Mother, and to Buster Boy. Big thanks to all these fine folks of the DigThat fam and fine patrons of the DigThat arts. You are very much appreciated. Fly dirty, Commanders. 07.